Well, here we have a program that CBO has scored as making the Treasury $1 billion over the next 10 years, and yet it could create credit equal to about $300 billion of credit to small businesses. But the Republicans are opposing it. And why is that? There's no rational reason unless the goal is to drive the American economy into a double-dip recession.
You feel like, honestly, that Republicans are opposing the policies they're opposing and promoting the policies they're promoting because they want a bad economic outcome?
Well, you know, I didn't come to D.C. as cynical as I feel here a year and a half later as a senator. What I have seen is everything politicized by the primary elections and the general election plan for this year, and it certainly appears that all sense has lost, all sorts of partnership to make American economy work for working Americans is gone.
That was Senator Jeff Merkley speaking on this show back in July. That case that he made, you can almost see that it pained him to make it, has stuck with me now for months. I think about what he said there in that segment back in July a lot. The prospect that some of what Congress is doing that is blowing it on the economy is happening on purpose. I think about that a lot. Case in point. There is a program that is part of the stimulus that is credited with creating almost 250,000 American jobs. One program, that many jobs. The overall stimulus in total is on track to create 3.5 million jobs. This one $5 billion program alone is responsible for 250,000 of those jobs. What do you get when you demonstrably create a lot of jobs in an otherwise horrendous economy for relatively little spending? You get a totally not at all controversial program. When CNN did a report recently on this program, they called it the stimulus program even a Republican could love. Republican governors who saw this program working in their states became some of the most vocal advocates for this program. Republican governors like Haley Barbour of Mississippi, former head of the Republican Party, current head of the Republican Governors Association. Even he, arguably the most partisan governor in the country, has talked about how much he loves this program. He credits it with creating 5,300 jobs in his state alone. This is not a controversial program. It works. It essentially subsidizes companies and organizations to hire people or to keep jobs they would otherwise eliminate. It is very simple. It has very little overhead. It is efficient. It does exactly what it is designed to do. Republicans and Democrats alike, when they've seen how many people it has kept employed in the private sector, they like it very much. Nobody's arguing against it on its merits, either in the states or in Washington. And yet, the Republicans blocked it. In the House, where there is no filibuster and the Democrats have a large majority, an extension of this thing was passed twice. But in the Senate, well, in March, New Hampshire Republican Senator Judd Gregg blocked it. Last month, again, Democrats tried to reboot the program, keep funding it. Utah Republican Senator Orrin Hatch blocked it. Then last week, 2 days before the program that created almost 250,000 jobs was set to expire, it got blocked again. You can thank Wyoming Republican Senator Mike Enzi for it this time.
The majority has known this program is going to expire at the end of this month all year and have taken no steps to reauthorize this important social safety net program.
Not true. Democrats tried to reauthorize it in March, you blocked it. Democrats tried to reauthorize it in September, you blocked it. Democrats tried to reauthorize it last month, you, sir, personally blocked it. Even as you called it an important safety net that you were blocking. Republicans have never made a substantive argument against this program. But they have blocked it not once, not twice, but 3 times. And so a totally successful, bipartisan endorsed, non-controversial program credited with putting 250,000 Americans back to work in 37 states, that program is now dead. So all the people employed in that program are now going to join the ranks of the unemployed, which is going to be horrendous for the economy. It is not only a bad situation and an individual tragedy for each of those Americans now out of the workforce again. It is also bad for the economy as a whole because those people are no longer earning any money, which means they are no longer going to be spending any money, which means we are all dragged down as a nation. But that personal and collective economic disaster does have a silver lining. As the jobs numbers get pushed into even worse territory than they are already in, that might be great news for Republicans in the elections. The last major jobs report before the election came out today. Some private sector job gains, but otherwise not good. Not good for the unemployed, not good for the employed but still struggling in a lousy economy, not good for the economy itself, not good for the country. If only we had some sort of non-controversial, effective, efficient, bipartisan endorsed jobs program. Of course, that wouldn't be good for the Republicans. They'd probably block it.